Fear and regret. Regret and fear is the biggest thing that can move a person. We always think that we have enough time. The age is in front of us, and what we didn't do today, we will do tomorrow. We were sure that what is in our hands will not go away from us at all, and that our quiet life will keep going without anything changing its course. But unfortunately, day and night, the situation changes. We find ourselves in a situation that we didn't expect. And in order to get our life back to the way it was before, we can walk in a dead end that we don't know where it ends. We don't know if it is safe or not. And all of this is because of fear and regret. Peace be upon you, this is Olivert James, and this is the Narrator Program. A new episode inspired by real events and from the book of Olivert James. We are in front of a strange idea, and the problem is that it is a reference to real events that really happened. Therefore, we need to focus. At the same time, we need to try to link what happened to what actually happened. Let's focus a little and let's continue the episode. I never loved you, but I was doing my duty after your father's death, so that he wouldn't blame me when he met him. No, Mom, don't say that. Mom, maybe I was wrong when I took care of you, but I wanted something good to honor you and compensate you. You are a liar. You only cared about yourself. But from now on, my ghost will not leave you, and your big worry and constant nightmare will remain. I always thought that I had more time to tell my mom how important she is to me, more time to sit in her arms like I used to when I was a child, to pat my head, talk to me, and tell me my problems. Even if I grew up like this, or I didn't become the girl who needs her mother, or the only thing she cares about is proving that she doesn't need her mother, and she doesn't need anyone at all. But Mom decided that the time is up, and she left me a lot of time to live alone with a big regret. A regret that I didn't live with her long enough, and a regret that she died because of my neglect of her. My name is Rana. Dad gave me this name, by the way, and this is a piece of information that I know about him. Dad was a sailor captain who traveled around the world and knew a lot of things, but I didn't get to know him. He died when I was young. I was 3 years old. I don't remember much other than our photos together that were full of the house. Maybe that's why his death didn't give me a big shock. Of course, every time I grew up, I missed my dad's presence in my life. Especially when I used to see my daughter with me at school, my dad would take her. Or I would see my dad coming with his daughter to practice. Or he would take her to the last year's party at school. Dad's word itself was very strange to me. But Mom did everything that didn't make me feel that I was without a father. She was originally a decor engineer. She had a small company, and she was very successful in her job. A job that she loved very much, and she left it to be by my side all the time. She would see my requests, remind me, and take me to the basketball practice. She also encouraged me when I grew up to take language courses, and all this to be successful and good at everything. And indeed, she turned out to be a special person. A person who knows what she wants. She is very practical and organized. My time is calculated by the second. I sleep and wake up on time in the summer and winter. I have a daily and weekly list of tasks, and a list of monthly and annual goals. I just try to achieve them, and I try that nothing gets in the way of me or gets in my way. I don't waste my time at all. My day was between studying and practicing, and of course I wasn't with anyone, because I was convinced that friends waste time together and don't encourage something useful. All these years, I didn't have anyone but my friend Reem, and the night she happened to sit next to me at school, I didn't even think to introduce her. She is kind, quiet, and lives close to us in the same area. And the best thing about her is that she didn't bother me or waste my time. Her calls and visits were taken into account, and she doesn't interfere in my life at all, as usual with friends or people close to me. I have a lifestyle that I'm used to. I eat healthy food that is calculated in calories, not only to maintain my health and weight, but also to maintain my mind in the best condition possible, so that I can study and learn. I used to hear from the coach that the thing that ruins the diet the most is meeting friends and going out with them, and I didn't have a clue about that. But I prayed to God that I stay away from bad things and sing to Him. Like my mom used to say, I was a train running on its tracks. Whenever I grow up, I work on my own and stay out of the house all the time. And even when I spend time at home, I'm either studying or I want to sleep and rest. In high school, I was in a race with my studies. I memorized everything I was taught. And I knew that I'm a decor engineer by nature, like my mom. But I wanted to get a group of my family. Because the alternative plan, if I didn't pass the beauty test, which is a rare thing, and I said that I will go to architecture. And I really got the group that I wanted. And I also passed the beauty test and got into the decor department. And in college, I wasn't mixed with my colleagues. Human relations were not a priority for me. Reem was in the computer science and information college. And she was smart even though it doesn't seem like it. And although each of us was busy with her thesis, we could only meet on holidays. Mom used to love her and welcome her every time she came to visit us. And she took care of her hospitality. Sometimes she would stay with her if I went to a lecture or a course. And usually she was the one who came to me, not me. I don't know why, but I didn't care and I didn't have time to go to her. So, our relationship didn't work out. And it's normal, life is in front of us. We can stay together tomorrow. That's what my mom used to tell me when she told me to go out together or watch something on TV. I used to tell her that I will stay with her when I stay. But the life that I thought was in front of us is over. It's over when the phone rang in a cold night in January. I was back from a long exam, and there are exams in our college that take up to 5 hours. She came back and didn't see me, and my mom told me that she was going to the doctor to get a diagnosis. She used to ask me to stay with her for a day, but I had exams and I couldn't. So, she got upset and told me that she would go alone. She took the car and left. And when I got home, she wasn't back yet. The phone rang. I went to answer it and I expected it to be her. She asked me if I needed anything and she was coming. But I found a police officer talking to me. He told me what I never imagined I would hear. My mom had an accident and was taken to the hospital. It was obvious that she was very tired and she was driving on the road. She got into another car that was coming in the opposite direction. And unfortunately, my mom left. When I went to the hospital quickly and I didn't see her in front of me, it was the first time I felt that my mom missed me. And now I want to stay with her as long as I want and nothing else matters. The doctor told me that the accident happened quickly and that she died in minutes. And that means that she didn't get hurt in the last moments. I don't know if that was true or if they were telling me that to make me patient. But that didn't matter to me at all because I felt that my life had collapsed suddenly. And the pain that was coming was all from me. My uncle came from the country. My mother was originally from the village of Delta, and she had to be buried there. I went with them with my mother's horse to bury her. And then I discovered that I had a family. A big family, but my mother was the one who was communicating with them. I was living away from them so that no one could control me, or impose their customs and traditions on me, or ruin the life that I had drawn for myself. They were putting me on the edge, and that was understood. I was not like them and I was never a part of their life. They didn't even know my name without titles. That's why they used to call me engineer. But honestly, they tried to help me as much as they could. They stayed with them during the holidays and hosted me as if I was a guest. As if I wasn't a friend of the disaster. I'm so sorry, engineer. Thank you. Uncle. Thank you, uncle. We didn't mean to cut you off from us. But your mother, may God have mercy on her, was the one who brought you up in the city. A different upbringing from ours. And she always said that you were busy. But no matter what, you are our daughter. Tell me, did you know the way of the country well? Did you know how to come alone? Yes, uncle. I knew and memorized the location on my cell phone. In my opinion, I don't appreciate your education and your work. And that's why I didn't want to tell you to come and sit with us or pressure you. But know that our house is open to you at any time, my daughter. Because this is your mother's house before me and before you. And if there's anything, call me and I'll be at your doorstep. Uncle, give me money even though I didn't want it. Dad's life was enough for us in the presence of Mom. I thanked him, greeted him and left. I went to our house and I don't know how I'm going to spend my time. And then a new delegation of Mom's friends came, whom I had seen for the first time. I want to see them. I see that Mom was socially ignorant. Everyone tried to help. They brought me food and told me that they were always there. But none of this mattered, because none of them was able to compensate for the emptiness that Mom left behind. And that's normal. I was sitting, I found the door knocking and I opened it and I found Reem. I greeted her and she hugged me. I came first yesterday when I found Kish. I was in the country. Reem, come here. What did you bring me? These are sandwiches. I said, of course I didn't eat in the morning. I'm sorry. I don't know how to cook. You didn't have to exhaust yourself. Reem, my grandma doesn't cook and doesn't let your mom cook. I have a lot of food. But believe me, I really want to eat street food. I've been eating soup, meat and rice for 4 days in the country. Thank you, Reem. God bless you. But talk to me now. Are you okay? I'm trying. Reem, I'm still shocked. But the sadness is still coming. I don't know what I'm going to do without her. Your mom was my whole life. The last few days I was pretending to be okay. And I'm inside her, carrying the burden of the moment I'm going to be alone. I'm begging you, I'm talking. Reem, hang in there. I don't know what to do. Thank you for encouraging me with the well-known words that are said at times like this. She looked very sad and her eyes were full of tears. I know she loved her mom and was proud of her. She sat with me for a while and then started walking. She told me that she was always there and that I could talk to her if I needed anything. Maybe Reem, while I was sitting on the sofa looking around me, maybe my mom would appear. Maybe this would all turn out to be a silly dream. I wanted to talk to her, even if it was just once. I needed to hear her voice. Maybe then I could sleep again without waking up every now and then to the sound of her crying. I picked up the phone and listened to the last of Hallie's recordings. I couldn't accept the idea that Mom was no longer there. I won't see her again or hear her voice. For the first time, I feel like I'm losing someone I love. Every day, I was looking through her things at home. Her watch and glasses. These things were in her bag that I picked up from the hospital after the accident. Her wallet was also there, but her phone wasn't there. I said, of course it was stolen after the accident. Unfortunately, there are people whose food is the death of other people. But the strange thing is that there was money in the wallet and the bank cards were the same. Why didn't the thief steal the phone? It doesn't matter. Her things made me happy and made me feel her presence around me. I didn't naturally like the atmosphere of spirituality, water, and papers, and the atmosphere of someone visiting me or someone coming to comfort me in my dream after I died. And the things, I remembered when I talked to Mom about this before. She told me that these things are often the only consolation for those who lose someone they love. And what made her so patient was that she was seeing him in her dream or feeling his presence around her at home. I thought and said, how can I make Mom come to me in my dream? I prayed a lot to see her in my dream, but for no reason. The days were passing without seeing her or feeling her presence. And her smell started to leave the house, as if she started to disappear from my life forever. And then I had an idea. If I can't see her in my dream, I can contact her in any way. And when it was late at night, I was alone in the house, which was dark and quiet all the time. And the pain in my heart prevented me from being able to close my eyes. I started searching the internet. At first, I didn't know what I was looking for. Anything that could make me talk to her again. Maybe it was a stupid and illogical idea, but I found myself reading stories about people who have connected with the spirits of the other world. People who were able to talk to their families and comfort them after their death. And the more I read, the more I felt that it could be true, and that I could talk to her too. There were articles on the internet and social media pages dedicated to this topic. People talking about the world of the spirits and preparatory sessions for the spirits, and the rituals they prepare, and the ways they tried and worked. Most of them were probably fake accounts trying to scare each other or say anything. And I understood all of this, of course. And I stayed up all night reading these stories. And a lot of them really scared me, because I knew that these sessions needed something called a spiritual medium, and some tools and complicated steps. And some of them were bloody and evil. It was hard to implement the idea. Until one night, I found something different. After I commented a question on a post dedicated to preparation, I found a woman's account contacting me. And after she asked me who I needed to contact, she became kind to me when I told her that she is my mother. And she told me that she could help me. She told me about an old spiritual medium for preparing the spirits, and she told me her family's secret. By the way, her family was all spiritual and interested in this topic. And they have secrets that they don't share with anyone. And she told me that the medium is very simple and doesn't need a professional to do it. And that it is effective and only needs a book to introduce me to the basics. And she even offered to send me the book. And that I will determine the meeting with myself after the session is over. I knew that it was something crazy, but I couldn't prevent myself from any hope. The feeling of guilt was eating me. I wanted to tell my mother that she forgave me, and tell her that she missed me. I decided to get the book and make the preparation session. I couldn't tell the lady who was talking to me about the title of the house, because I didn't know her. So I told her to send it to the post office, and that I will pay the shipping fee. And indeed, a week later, the book arrived at the post office, and it didn't have the title of the messenger. But my name was written on the cover in a strange line. And inside the book, there was an old book with a leather cover. Its pages were yellow and soft. My hand was shaking while I was turning its pages. It was all about symbols, rituals, and certain steps that are done. And that there is a very precise and very thin barrier between our world and the world of death. The book promised a direct and clear communication between me and the spirit that I wanted to prepare. And the instructions were simple. Simple enough to make me doubt that it would work at all. I waited until night fell. I didn't want anyone or anything to pass by, especially the rituals that I was going to perform, especially that everyone who knew me from my mom's and neighbors' friends, they were constantly contacting me and visiting me. And they were worried about me, and their worries were increasing more and more with time. They knew that I was mentally weak, but no matter how hard they tried to help me, nothing helped. They didn't understand what I was going through. How could they understand when they still had their mothers? They could still talk to them and be satisfied with their voices. I was preparing the tools I was going to use for the session, but I don't know why I felt like I had to tell someone who would know, because if anything happened, I would be safe. Hello? Yes, Reem. How are you? Can you come because I need you for something important? I'm ready to come, but you better. Reem came right away, and when I told her what I was going to do and explained to her, she was very shocked. She told me, no, don't do that. She held my hand and told me, this is a dangerous thing, we don't know how far it can go. Reem, I've made up my mind. I have to tell her. I can't live like this. Rana, I can understand your anger, but we don't know anyone who tried to prepare these souls. We didn't know it would end well. No, Reem, you don't understand. And by the way, you don't understand either. You have a mother, I don't. And you didn't know I had a mother. Did you see her before? Did you see her before? I was silent for a moment and suddenly I noticed. I've never seen Reem's family at all. And that's because I've never been to her. And I didn't even think to ask her about many details in her life. And she didn't tell me either. Reem, I'm sorry. It's obvious that I wasn't a good friend and I affected you a lot. To the point that I don't know many details about your life. Okay, Rana, there's nothing. Okay. Tell me, Reem, where's your mother? I'll tell you, but not now. After you finish what you're doing to me, if it's still planned. But you know what? I'm afraid that if this succeeds, your mother will be happy that you're trying to contact her now. Reem sat on the sofa in the living room and told me that she'd wait here until it's done. But she won't be able to come in with me. I went into my room and stepped on the floor that I was carrying the carpet from, and the floor of the room was made of wood. I drew a circle on the floor with a white spray, as the book says, and I made the symbols as they are. They were strange, curved shapes and lines that I've never seen before. But I copied them exactly, and it wasn't hard for me. And of course, because I'm a decorator. In the middle of the circle, I was supposed to put something dear to my mother. I put her favorite chain. This chain was a gift from my father, and she was used to it. She never took it off her neck. I lit a big candle that was shining next to me. Its size and length were specified in the book, and I bought it with the same specifications. Her imagination was flying on the wall like it was dancing in the dark. The book said that I had to have something that I could communicate with, and I wrote a lot of choices, including a Ouija board, which I didn't have, of course, and a letter board that people with disabilities use, which I certainly didn't have. Among the choices was a device that could turn on the sound. And of course, it was logical because I wanted to hear her voice, so I used my phone. And maybe this was a stupid thing I did, because I wasn't sure what could happen to him. But at that moment, there was nothing else that made a difference to me but hearing my mother's voice. I began to read the words written in the book. They were old and strange pieces, written in Latin letters, which I didn't understand very well, and I felt like I was saying it wrong. But I said whatever it was. My voice was getting hoarse, and I kept reading until I finished the words in front of me, and I waited. Moments passed as if they were years. The candle's flame was dancing, and the room was getting colder. The air was heavy, but nothing happened. And I expected that nothing would happen. I was still laughing at myself and saying, what a stupid thing I did. And I was still going up to Rima and telling her, come and see your friend. But then something unexpected happened. My phone rang. I thought it was just a hallucination, but when I focused, I found that it was really ringing. I was in the middle of the circle and I looked at it. The name on the screen struck my heart. Mom. I looked at the screen and I don't know how many minutes have passed since I looked at it, but I looked at it for a long time and I didn't feel my hand or know how to extend it towards the phone. This is not possible at all. I picked up the phone and answered it and put the phone on the speaker. Hello? Mom? I miss you so much, Mom. I can't do anything without you. You don't have to do anything. I'm still with you, my love. I will always be with you. Mom, where's Dad? Dad? God have mercy on him. Mom, have you forgotten me? No, I haven't forgotten you, but you're the one who forgot me. Like you're going to forget me. And who's outside? This is Reem, my friend. Mom, but she was a little worried about me, so I told her to wait for me outside. But there's no problem. She's not with us or listening to us. Well, take the phone. What are you saying? It's not possible, Mom. The phone must stay in the circle. That's what the book said, so that communication doesn't stop between us. Mom, what's going on? I'm bothering you. Right anyway. Mom, that's not true. You used to love me. And I wasn't just hoping. I did what you wanted. I'm a sports engineer, and I have languages, and it's an honor. I raised you, Mom. Well, I'm done with any feeling of guilt that might come to me if I interfered in your upbringing. For you, I was the one who served you, and you can't live without me. I'm tired of you. Stop it, please, Mom. I want to stop. I want to end this session. Remember, I used to love you. You were a burden that I carried until the last day of my life. Are you sure you're my mom? Tell me, what did you used to read to me when I was a kid before I slept? Are you sure? If you're my mom, you know. Yes, that's right. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Who are you? It doesn't matter. Wait, I can still help you. I still want to talk to you. No, I don't want to anymore. I'm done. I want to end the session. I let go of the phone. I turned off the candle, got out of the room, fell on my face. I was taking a deep breath. Reem ran at me. What happened? Rana? What's wrong? Mom? Mom? Not Mom? I don't know. What happened? Are you okay? Calm down. Calm down. Come with me. Let's go outside. Come on. What happened? Tell me. I don't know, Reem. Someone spoke and said it was Mom. I thought it was a prank. I don't know how it happened, but that's the explanation. But that was Mom's voice. She told me she didn't love me. Can you imagine? Yes, I can imagine, Rana. What do you mean? What do you mean? I mean, Rana, you know that moms don't like their kids. It's normal. Mom used to complain about you like any other mom. Maybe she died and she's still mad at us. This is the first time I've heard that. Reem, you're right. You didn't tell me. Where's your mom? I don't know. I don't know where she is. What you're saying means that she might have died. No, not at all. She ran away with a man. Oh my God. What are you talking about? When was that? I don't know, Rana. She ran away. We didn't see her the next day. I was 10 years old then. She took my brother with her. Why didn't you tell me anything like that before? Because you didn't ask. No, I'm serious. Why don't you remember? Because it was a scandal. I'm a suspicious person. My dad is a drunk man. He drinks every day until he gets drunk. Then he starts hitting whoever he finds in front of him. Also, Ahmed is my older brother. May God have mercy on him. So, you had an older brother and he died? Yes. He was 4 years older than me. He used to complain about me and my mom a lot. Until one day he got scared of the beating. He jumped out of the window and died. His mom and dad took care of him. Then it turned out that his mom couldn't live with him. She knew a neighbor of ours. Everyone knew him, so they ran away together. Some people said that he went to Alexandria and his family said that he went to Sed. God knows. My dad didn't care that he knew. In the end, he was the one who was missing them. First, I thought that you knew him. I thought that you were accepting of my reputation and my circumstances. But then, I realized that you didn't know him. I realized that you were so focused on yourself that you didn't listen to anyone else. You didn't care to know anything about anyone. Honestly, your mom was a very nice woman. She knew him, of course. Despite that, she was good and generous with me. She did a lot of things for me. She gave me a monthly salary to live from and from people who do good to me. This is what helped me to live well until now. She was doing a lot of good things. Where is your dad now? My dad is in prison. He is being held for a few years and then released. And so on. He might be released in a few years to tell us about his prison routine. I'm sorry, Reem. It's obvious that I was very mean to you. I don't have anyone but you now. You are my whole family. I hope you still consider me like that. Do you think that the voice I'm hearing is not your mom's voice? I can't think. I want to go to sleep now. I've been thinking calmly since this morning. Maybe I should go back to the woman who sent this letter and ask her about what happened. Or what did I do wrong? I went into my room and my phone was still inside the circle on the floor where I left it. But the phone was lit up with a new signal. It was a voice message from my mom. I felt like I shouldn't have picked it up, but I still picked it up. I pressed play and suddenly I heard my mom screaming. Her voice filled the whole house. Before I realized it, the phone was ringing again. I sat on the floor and leaned against the wall and I looked at the phone and I was afraid. I was afraid to answer, but it kept ringing until I answered. And I heard my mom's voice from the other side. What do you want? I want you to drink poison and come back with more people. Mom, when I tried to talk to you, it was to forgive me. But that doesn't mean I should end my life. The phone was off, but the nightmare wasn't over yet. Every 10 minutes, my mom's voice was being tortured. My mental state, my thoughts, everything was overloaded. I spent 2 days living in an unbearable torture. I blocked my mom's number, and she sent me private numbers of the same records with the same voice. And the words in it turned into terrible curses. I spent days in the same situation. I was so tired that I went to get a new phone with a new number. And I imagined that this was the solution to end this nightmare. But the surprise is that it didn't end. The same messages again, and their source is unknown. The account of the woman who wrote the book was closed, and there was no way to reach her. I tried to call Reem to tell her what happened. Maybe she would tell me what to do, but she didn't answer me. I tried to call her many times without any response, and she was only in front of me to go to her house for the first time. I passed the street, and I knew the house by sight, but I had never been there. I reached the apartment and knocked on the door, and I found a man opening the door for me. A man I didn't know. Who are you? Is Reem here? Yes, Reem. She went to her aunt's house in the city. She will be back in 2 days. Are you close to her? I am her father. But she told me that you are. Yes, she told me that I am in prison. I'm still out. But she doesn't want to sit with me. You have to tell her that your mother is still dead. Right? Yes, uncle. If you allow me, I will tell her that I asked her. And let her talk to me. I had no idea that Reem was going to the country regularly. Or how long will she be back? Or what is her country anyway? How can I forget to ask her when she will be back? I am not focused, tired, or sleeping. My mother's voice is surrounding me everywhere. I don't know where she is. I can't even think. When I got home, I found a new message on my new phone. Said, when will you execute? I didn't know what to do. It's a nightmare. Reem is not here. No one can save me from this. It seems that there is no other way. There is no other way but to execute. I went to the bathroom. I filled the bathtub, and I was ready to execute. Everything was driving me crazy, and no one would blame me. If it wasn't to save my mother, it would be to save myself from the hell I am living in. I stretched out my clothes in the bathtub, and I put my head under the water. I held my breath, and I wished that it wouldn't hurt. How long will it take? Is this enough? Finally, when the water started to cool down, I heard my phone ringing. The ringing made me scared, but it could be my mother. There could be new news. I was surprised by the water. I turned around and ran outside. I looked at my phone screen, but I found someone I didn't expect at all. My uncle. My uncle. He wasn't used to calling me. I felt like I was lost in the desert and I suddenly found someone I knew. Uncle? How are you, Uncle? Uncle, I'm in trouble, Uncle. Follow me. I want you to come, or I'll come to your country. I can't stay at home alone. Okay, calm down. I'll send you a car driver. Prepare your stuff. Don't worry. We're all with you. I took a shower, packed my bag, and prepared my clothes. I felt like I was running away. I wanted to leave my phone at home, but I kept telling my uncle everything. To stop him from calling me crazy, I had to show him all the evidence. But no, I can't take my phone with me. I grabbed my old and new phones and I was taking screenshots and copies of everything I received. Everything from my mom's number and other unknown numbers just in case it got erased. I put everything on my laptop and left my phones on the sofa in the living room. I went outside and waited for the car driver to come. I was afraid to stay at home alone. The car driver really came and I rode with him all the way to the country. When I saw my uncle, I threw myself in his arms and fell. Uncle took a look at me and told me to stay at home and that no one should come in. He told me not to be afraid and that he was with me. I cried for a long time and I didn't know what to do. Couldn't breathe. I was afraid that my uncle would be upset or mad at me for what I did. I wasn't sure that he would understand my situation. But there was no other solution so that someone could take away the trouble I was in. I told him everything that happened after the first session of preparing the souls. I showed him all the files that I had. He was listening attentively and as if he was thinking while I was talking to him. That's it, Uncle. That's all. Where is your phone that has these messages? In the house. I left it and couldn't turn it on. Your phone has something special on it. Something that no one wants to see, for example. No, Uncle. It's supposed to be new. I didn't put anything on it and I didn't talk to anyone. I just sent the number to the people around me to let them know. Including you, of course. Who else? All my colleagues so that when the results show up they can bring it to me. And Reem, of course. My friend and neighbor. I can't wait to see her in the grave. That's it. Now get up, change, eat and rest. You'll stay here with us until you act. What are you going to do, Uncle? Don't worry about it, my dear. Just relax and stay with your cousins. But I'll only ask for your permission in the house's key. I'll go get your phones from there and tell me where they are and I'll know what to do and I'll know how to solve it. I'm so sorry, Uncle. I'm really sorry. Don't worry. He really left and took the 2 phones. I was expecting him to take them to Sheik, for example, but he had a completely different opinion. An opinion that prevented me from getting tired and saddened me to take care of him. He took them to the security manager. His friend's officer was there. He spent 2 days in Cairo. He talked to me from there and told me not to worry and to stay there as he told me until he came back. And indeed, after he came back, he came straight to me and talked to me. Hey, engineer. Hey, Rana. Uncle. Thank God you're safe, Uncle. When did you arrive? Right now. Come with me. The police know who threatened you and brought him here. It was all a trap, Grandma. There's no ghost or sadness. I went with my uncle to the security manager and he didn't want to tell me who it was. But I sensed it and I knew the logic before I got there. I went to the officer and I found her sitting with her face on the ground. Why, Reem? Why did you want us to die? What did I hurt you with? That's the least I can do, Rana. Because you didn't feel the blessing you had. You had everything. A beautiful life and money under your feet. And a mother who loves you no matter how much you neglect her. She still loves you even though you don't sit with her or see her. If there was justice in this world, you should have been my mother. Did you figure it all out? How could you do this to me? Yes, me. First, I thought about how I could do it and you made it easy for me. I noticed your comment on the page about preparing the souls and I made an account and talked to you. It wasn't hard for me to send you an old fake book. It was a game like the one you play on TikTok. If you didn't talk to me, I would have found a way to talk to you. Who talked to me? You were with me outside. My classmate who I'm related to wanted to help me get rid of you. How did you get the messages and calls from my mom? Your mom's phone is with me. I didn't know anything. I took it from her bag when she wanted to. I didn't know what to do with it, but I found out later. When I was working on the plan, it wasn't hard to edit her voice or record her voice while she was screaming. When I changed your number, you sent me the new one and I continued the plan. We wanted to make you crazy or make you commit suicide. I never thought of hurting you. I never thought of hurting you. You've never seen me or anyone but yourself. If you think I'm evil, then you're the evil in my selfishness. You've always invested in yourself and that's it. But when I fell, what happened? No one saved you but your uncle because he really loves you even though you don't deserve him. But why? Luck. I got out of the office and told my uncle to make sure that Reem is in jail and that I'm safe. He told me to check my phone and make sure there's no tracking or hacking. But I wanted to get a new number and I was cleaning and I deleted all my social media accounts. I stayed at my uncle's until the term is over and then I went back home. I decided to isolate myself and see another house, and that step helped me a lot to recover from my mother's death and what happened after that. I promised my uncle that I'll visit him every vacation. That kept a secret between me and my uncle and I didn't tell anyone about it. I made sure that he won't blame me and that he appreciated my psychology because of my mother's death, but he asked me to rethink about myself and my relationships and that next time I'll build my friendships with my mother before it's too late. And that's it. The story has a lot of deep thinking and there are a lot of things that happen around us that we ignore, and we ignore their problems for souls, ghosts, books, magic. And maybe I see these things close to me in my personal life, and in the end I don't believe in them even 1%, and that's why I'm sure that nothing will get in the way between me and God, so that I can feel something, so that I can calm down, so that I can communicate with someone, so that my life will be better. There's no such thing between you and God. There's only one rope, and that's your relationship with God. And your worship and thank you. Don't think that there's something else that will get in the way between you and God, and that's the reason. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching. If you liked the episode, like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell button. Join the family on Facebook. Join the family on YouTube. Follow me on YouTube because I post daily any news. And don't forget our brothers in prayer in Palestine, Syria, Lebanon, Sudan, and all the places where Muslims and non-Muslims, may God help them soon. See you in the next episode. Good night.